He done left this town. I'm going to cut it off right there. Like a motherless child, long ways from home. You've taken my blues and gone. You sing them on Broadway, you put them in Carmen Jones and in Macbeth and mix them up in symphonies where they don't even sound like me. You've taken my spirituals and gone. You put them in Carmen Jones and in Macbeth and in everything but what's about me. But someday, somebody will stand up and talk about me and sing about me and write about me and put on plays about me. Black and beautiful.
I guess it'll be me.
Well, I reckon it's gonna be me, myself. Yeah, it's going to be me.
Of invocation, whatever your posture for prayer might be. God of our mothers and fathers, those we now honor as among the angels and the host of a great cloud of witnesses, we invite you into our midst and we ask that you envelop us with your Shekinah glory as we celebrate the life, the love, the legacy of Val Gray Ward. We thank you, God, for delivering her onto the world stage through a birthing relationship of Reverend H.Y. and Iola Gertrude Ward. You saw fit to bring her forth in the hallowed Native American mounds of Mississippi soil, raise her up in African blackness, and transition her relocation to a place where DeSable found peace on a Chicago river. You named her Queen Ola and gave her birth to 5 quintessential children that now bear her name, likeness, and stand in the tradition of her quilt that speaks life in the Sankofa practice, where looking backwards helps us in the life splendor of looking and running forward. You gave her 2 helpmeets, Gray and Ward. Now we celebrate her final performances, both in life and on this stage, with dignity, and created a partition between humanity and immortality. And now, like David, she dances with angels and with the courage of Esther. She sings with Donny Hathaway and sits in sisterhood with Gwendolyn Brooks. She communes with her daughter Mukai and embraces the grandson Kumi. She's welcomed by her parents and enjoys the ending love
name is Kwaku Larry Franklin Crow. May I have permission to speak?
Yes.
Asante Sana. It's fitting that we pour libation. This was part of what we learned from people like Valerie Ward, that we should honor our ancestors in an Africana fashion. And we pour this libation to symbolize our commitment to remember the lessons that they taught and to commit ourselves to completing their work and to teaching our children what that work is all about. So I'm going to remove this mic. There we go. You can still hear me, right? Yeah. All right. So, for our people on the continent of Africa, for the first black mother of humankind, we pour this libation. For our people who gave the world art and culture, who taught us to decorate ourselves, build dwellings, to weave cloth, to make jewelry, to do drama, dance, and music, we pour this libation. For the great empires that we built in the Nile Valley, for the empires of Nubia, for the empires of Kemet, for the empires of Ethiopia, and for the West African empires of Mali, Ghana, and Songhai, for the empires of Congo and Manamatapa and the great Zimbabwe, for all of the African people from which we descend, for the Yoruba, the Igbo, the Ibibio, the Bambara, the Vai, the Kru, the Ewe, the Akan, for all those named and unnamed that we're descended from, we pour this libation. For those of our ancestors who resisted alien invasion, who fought back against incursions and efforts to steal what they had, for those who resisted the so-called slave trade, for those who resisted in the villages, who resisted in the barracoons, who resisted on board the ships during the Middle Passage, for all those ancestors who resisted in every way they could, we pour this libation. For our ancestors who came to these shores, for our ancestors who toiled with chains and took beatings, and those who resisted by running away, or poisoning the master, or shirking their work, for all those ancestors who are our immediate ancestors in the Caribbean, in South America, and here on these shores, in Mississippi, Alabama, South Carolina, Virginia, Ohio even, Pennsylvania, for all those ancestors we pour this libation. For our ancestors who built black towns, hundreds of black towns from New Jersey to Alabama. I heard about a town called Our Town, Alabama, just this week that we built. For those who built Nicodemus, Kansas, Pelham, Texas. For all those black towns people, all those people that built something for their children and for their community, especially those who built the town of Mount Bayou, from which Valerie Ward comes to pour this libation. For all of our ancestors who were part of the Great Awakening of the 1960s, it was a continuum of what their ancestors started when they first resisted here, what we now call the Black Arts Movement. For those great black women like Gwendolyn Brooks, for Margaret Goss Burroughs, for Abena Joan Brown, and especially for Val Craig Ford. And for our commitment to dedicate ourselves to KUUMBA, because KUUMBA means to clean up, create, and build. It means to do always as much as we can in the way that we can in order to leave our communities more beautiful and beneficial than they were before we inherited them. Ashe.
Larry Crow. He interviewed
board for the history makers and a KUUMBA alumnus. Wow, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We are delighted to have you here for this celebration of Val Gray Ward. Today, you will hear from those individuals whose lives she touched and the individuals who touched her life and transformed her life as she transformed theirs. You may notice that the stage is set up in the format of one of their signature productions, The Amen Corner by James Baldwin.
Yes, sir.
So understanding that we are now in the house of the spirits, you may get filled with the Spirit. But we ask that you be mindful of the time, because in life we know one thing. We're here for a good time, but not a long time. So if you see me walking around like this, that means it's time to have your Selah moment and wrap it up. So with that in mind, I would like everyone to please direct your attention to the screen as we witness and experience Val Gray Ward, The Little Stampede. Event organized and produced by KUUMBA Theater, and it is housed at the University of Illinois, the Bruce Nesbitt Archive Center.
I am a black woman. The music of my song, so sweet, of angel, of tears, is written in a minor key, and I can be heard calmly. Oh, freedom over me. What shall I tell my children who are black of what it means to be a captive in this dark skin? What shall I tell my dear ones? Fruit of my womb, of how beautiful they are when everywhere they turn, they're faced with the appearance of everything that is black. The night is black, and so is the boogeyman. Villains are black with black hearts. A black cow gives no milk, and a black hen lays no eggs. Bad news comes bordered in black. Black is evil, and evil is black, and devil's food is black. What shall I say to my dear ones raised in a white world? A place where white has been made to represent all that is good and pure and fine and decent, where clouds of white and dolls of white, and heaven surely is a white, white place with angels robed in white, and milk and ruffled Sunday dresses and long sleeve Cadillacs and dream houses and angels' food is white. All white. What can I say therefore when my child runs home in tears because a playmate has called him black, big lip, flat nose, and nappy-headed? what will he think? What will she think? When I dry away the tears and say, yes, darling, that's true. But no less beautiful and dear. How can I lift up his head, get him to square his shoulders, look his adversaries in the eye, confident in the knowledge of his worth, and proud of his own beauty under his sable and serene skin that he must survive. And he must survive. I have drunk deep of late from the fountain of my black culture, sat at the knee of and learned from Mother Africa. And I find I have much to say to my black children. I will take them into a way back time of kings and queens who ruled the Nile, discovered the laws of mathematics, measured the stars, and upon whose backs have been built the wealth of 3 continents. I shall tell them this and more, and his heritage shall be her weapon. It will make him strong enough to win any battle he may face. And since this story is so often obscured, I that must find the truth for ourselves and pass it on to them. And in years to come, I believe, because I've armed my children with the truth, my children and my children's children will venerate me. For it is the truth and none but the truth that's going to set us free.
Now, reward. The spirit is in the house.
That's what made me come.
She loved us with a big heart and encouraged us to live with a big heart. Yes, she took on mine with great wonderment and zeal.
Children, I come back today to tell you a story of a long, dark way that I had to climb, that I had to know in order that the race might live and grow. Look at my face, dark as the night, yet shining like the sun with love's true light. I am the child they stole from the sand 300 years ago in Africa's land. I am the dark girl who crossed the wide sea, carrying in my body the seed of the free. I am a woman who worked in the field, bringing the cotton and the corn to you. beaten and mistreated for the work that I did. Children so away from me, husband sold too. No safety, no love, no respect was I due. 300 years in the deepest South. But God put a song and a prayer in my mouth. I want you, Lord, to walk away with me, Lord, walk with me. All on this journey, I want you, Lord, to walk with me. God put a dream like steel in my soul. Now through my children, I'm reaching for gold. Now through my children, young and free, I realize the blessings denied to me. Mama had to keep on. I couldn't read. I couldn't write. I had nothing in the night. Sometimes the valley was filled with tears, but I kept trudging on through the lonely years. Sometimes the road was hot with sun, but I had to keep on till my work was done. I had to keep on, no stopping for me. I was the seed of a coming free. I nourished the dream that nothing could smother. Deep in my heart, the Negro mother. I only had hope then, but now through you, dark ones of the day, my dreams must come true. All you children in the world out there, remember my sweat, my pain, my despair. Remember my years with heads up, and make of those years a torch for tomorrow. Make my past a road to the light. Out of the darkness, the ignorance, the night. Lift high my banner out of the dust. Stand like free men supporting my trust. Believe in the right. Let none push you back. Remember the whip and the slave's track. Remember how the strong in struggle and strife still bar you the way and deny life. The march ever forward, breaking down bars. Look ever upward at the sun and the stars. Oh, my children, may my dreams and my legs impel you forever from the great stand. For I will be with you till no one brother dares to die, children of the Negro mother.
Don Franklin.
Chicago's great black culture warriors, Haki and Savisha Mahabhuti, two of Val's great friends and co-conspirators in building up black people.
We all come from the same place, but you realize that in many cases we were all very young and up against a mighty force in building these independent black institutions, which of course KUUMBA was one of the first. In terms of black theater, Chicago was at the epicenter, not only with KUUMBA, but most certainly with ETA and now the Black Ensemble. When we say black, we're not only talking about color, we're talking about culture and consciousness. And what we try to do at Third World Press, we bring our greetings from Third World Press in terms of missing our sister. My wife and I were with her for a birthday party about, 4 months ago, 5 months ago? We don't measure time. But Val and I were able to travel to Africa at least twice together. But we did something that no one expected. We actually picketed Johnson Publishing Company to change the name of Negro Digest to Black World Magazine. And not only did Mr. Johnson do that, but he also stopped advertising white skin colors, began to give money to black arts organizations, and began to cover Africa in a much more positive way. So Negro Digest became Black World. And then we went to Africa together several times, but this is fest time. And you see Val attentively looking at the audience right here. And Jeff Donaldson, who headed the North American zone. Here I am. And then that's the great boy W. Fuller, who was the editor of the second time we picketed Johnson Publishing Company was when Mr. Johnson fired Boyd Fuller. Right. Because, I can say this now, he published a Palestinian writer. Wow. And Mr. Johnson said, you can't do that. And why you can't do that? Because these people from places which are killing people now came and told him, if you publish any more Palestinian writers, we're going to picket, we're going to shut down Ebony Magazine, Johnson Publishing. And Mr. Fuller basically said, I'm the editor. And Mr. Johnson said, not anymore. Oh! Not anymore. And then what happened, Val, Abena, myself, and others came together and started First World Magazine. The reason that this edition is so badly harmed, we had a major flood in Third World Press. And out of all my first worlds, this is the only one that I was able to save. Wow. And the importance of this first world, Francis, It has the 10-year anniversary of KUUMBA. There's a lot I can say, but let me just end up with a poem so my wife can say a few words. This was written for Val Gray Ward, and the title of the poem is Black Earth Mover. Enter the theater of right and bright voices. Enter the waterfalls of fresh, unpolluted, life-saving water. Enter the valley where few are able to sing. Enter the world archives of deep and solid memories. Enter the geography of a life enlightened by Black as in Africa, struggle, KUUMBA, and first thoughts. This is our Val Gray Ward. Gwendolyn Brooks, dear sister. Chicago's on-point fire force. Best words. Ironwood dancer, actor, truth teller, and I'm coming with or without an invitation. If you do not know who she is, talk to Hakeem Adabuti. He will take you around the corner and share the wisdom of one of our special, once in a century, Black Earth movers, sister, professor, doctor, and master voice of Black poetry. Val Gray.
My 3 minutes aren't part of his. Val sent us an email a while back where she said, "From the bottom of my heart, I love you and Haki. When I am your ancestor, you must say something for me. Haki can just read that powerful poem he wrote for my 90th birthday. It won't be very long. I'm very sick and tired." Lucini and I talked, if not every day, every other day. He wanted to write a book on Paul Robeson. As long as I live, I will be telling our stories. I have a story to tell Haki about his Martin Luther King poem. I'm here to both represent myself, but also my dear friend Kim Yamoyo, who is an alumnus of the KUUMBA Theater, who was not able to be here today because she had hip surgery. But she wanted me to share these words. For my friend, my mentor, Val Gray Ward. Val appeared in my life in 1969 and has been a consistent mentor for these 55 years. She gave me my voice, and for that I am eternally grateful. I met Val as a 21-year-old who had become frustrated with the fact that I could not find purpose and direction. Meeting her changed my life forever. Through her, I got connected with the Institute of Positive Education and to all that was culturally meaningful in Chicago. Her family became my family, and KUUMBA became a permanent word in my vocabulary. Life began happening even though I moved to Liberia, West Africa. Val and I remained as close as if we were still on the 3rd floor of the Southside Community Arts Center. My prayer is that everyone has a Val in their life. 2023 was a challenge for Val health-wise. Her body was using up all the strength it had. I would call her, and if you didn't know, you would never know that she had a health condition. She was always upbeat, ready to hum, to sing, and recite excerpts from James Baldwin, Gwendolyn Brooks, Sonia Sanchez, or Mari Evans. Val was always on stage, even when confined to a bed flat on her back and in excruciating pain. Val's voice could always be heard thundering throughout government chambers, on international stages, and even this last year, it would roll like mighty waters from cell phones and Zoom sessions from that assisted living facility. Val learned at an early age to speak up, speak clear, and speak out as she recited poems at churches and city programs in Mount Bayou, Mississippi, where she grew up. Those primary guideposts followed her once she realized her gift, and she carried it north to Chicago, where she planted her feet and allowed those seeds to bloom. Val was dedicated to Black empowerment, Black liberation, and Black culture. She redefined Black art by acknowledging that Black art is Black life. A KUUMBA principle says art is to educate, to teach, as well as to entertain. And there was nothing on KUUMBA's docket that was not uplifting for the community. If it didn't have the potential to teach, it did not make it to the casting director. Her understanding of the role that art plays in life changed the way audience even came to the theater. Writers only produce words. Val brings life to those words, as you heard. That quilt in the back is Val's physical love gift to us all. The meaning and symbol of the quilt is the gift, as quilts are pieces of scraps sewn together to make a complete whole. She carefully chose names of people whose spirits are within those threads, and we're real honored that Haki and I, names are on there. They are screaming for us to do as Margaret Walker instructed, to make a new earth rise, to let another world be born, no more walking blindly, sleeping when hungry, drinking when hopeless, no more floundering in the dark churches and schools. We are making the churches and schools and clubs and associations work for us this time. No more paths of confusion and hypocrisy and misunderstanding. We are aware of what unseen powers and creatures are doing, and we move accordingly to correct our footsteps. Looking at the quilt should remind us of our assignments, to be that third generation of people loving freedom, a people full of healing, no more martial songs or dirges, only songs of celebration, love, and power. Val's spirit is watching us, and unless you want her to haunt you, honor her son. I love you, Val.
You may say that Third World Press is 56 years old, and we'll be 57 soon. And I want to let you know that we will publish, if we receive a biography, a memoir of Val Gray Ward, of Robin Joan Brown, of many of our great heroes.
Yes.
We do now publish most of Gwendolyn Brooks' work. Go to the Third World Press Foundation.
Awesome.
All right.
As you can see, the house is full of greatness today. And our next two speakers are certainly to fit that bill as well. We are honored to have two extraordinary women to join us today, Dr. Iva Carruthers, the Samuel Dewitt Proctor Conference, and get this, Angela Jackson, the Illinois poet laureate.
Yes.
Asante Sana. I wish for all of us the peace, the love, and the hope that only this call of the gathering of the family can bring. For all of us, we gather in the sacred dewdrops of precious memories, and these moments of celebration and proclamation. The spirit of Queen Mother Val demands that it be so, for we remember that when she took to the stage, she took over the stage, and so it was. Yes. I am honored to have been asked to say a brief word of tribute for our dear sister. I do so with the love and the prayers of my children, Dr. Ann Smith and the Reverend Dr. Jeremiah E. Wright Jr. I do so as one who was privileged to serve as a member of the board of directors of the KUUMBA Theater and Workshop. I do so as a little sister friend of Val, who shared and divided our personal joys and sorrows. And I do so as a spiritual sister who shared the faith of our ancestors. During tough times and better times, with the awesome pair of Val and Francis, the performers, KUUMBA would bring light and life to our communities. Our children and our elders and all in between were clothed in the African audacity of purpose and creativity. In our African tradition, we recognize that time is circular. It is not linear. There is no beginning and no end. Rather, in the fullness of Zamani, we all represent that full force of movement going backwards through time, propelled by doing the good works called upon by the faith of our ancestors, and that is Imani. Knowing that we will all return to that divine space of God where there is perfect peace, Amani. And so I come to assure us all that that is where our beloved Queen Mother now resides. So in the words of our ancestors, live today knowing that you are creating your tomorrows in the space. Be good and powerful as an ancestor, one in the domain of a living God. My children and I are remembered often of Uncle Murray DePillars and Queen Mother Val every time we look at that anniversary poster of the little girl in white that was surrounded in purple and the borders, the brilliant colors of the geometric images that Murray could so masterfully do. Family, I am most assured that Queen Mother Val was escorted back into time and the divine with her loving brother, Murray DePillars. I am sure that they are together along with so many, bestowing upon us the ancestral power to stay the course in these perilous times. We shall not give in nor bow down. Brother Francis, Reverend Ward and family, we who are gathered pledge to keep you in our prayers, support you, and continue in the spirit of Queen Mother Val, whose courage, whose valor, and will was a force of the divine, calling to our children and our children's children, for each of us to be our best selves. May we always remember, Ashe and Amen.
For that, a short poem. That she was a hurricane, not to destroy, but twirling to build up, to tell a story, to hear her, to be set down in memory, restored, to hear her laugh, to want to linger, to live there in her mighty lap. Val Gray Ward with Francis, a double down roar.
Thank you so very much. Give them another round of applause. Yes, thank you. They say that when women gather, anything can happen. And certainly those of us who are women, we know what that's all about. But when great women who are literary artists and academics gather, that's a whole nother thing. It is a boom experience. We have joining us today Dr. Joanne Gavin, founder of the Wintergreen Women's Literary Collective and the Furious Flower, who created that garden for the women of literary genius to gather all the time, having fun, exchanging ideas, and creating great works. Please.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to represent the women of the Wintergreen Women Writers Collective. To Val's family, we were her other family. She loved us. In fact, just a few hours before her transition, her devoted daughter-in-law, Alice, called me. And I was trying to get to talk with Val, and she put Val on the line. And I could hear Alice saying, "Miss Valley's smiling for the first time in a couple of days," when she heard my voice. Val was like that. and I knew she was mumbling something, but I couldn't quite make it out. But in my heart of hearts, I know that she was saying, "Tell my wintergreen sisters I love them." And I said back to her, "And we love you more." So I want the wintergreen women in the audience and on the stage to stand while I read this poem. Peace the way home for Val Gray Ward. Do you remember when we were girls and the evening dusk or our mother's calls would start us homeward? I would say, "I'll walk a piece with you." And we would turn our feet toward your ivy-covered house, down the path to the crossroad. Deep in good girl talk, our words speeding up and spilling out. We are racing time. We arrive at your turn off. Too soon. You would say, "It's dark, so I'll walk back, a piece with you." Our feet retracing themselves. Now, my house just a few steps ahead. I know Mama is mad by now. You turn, see your patch of road ahead. The lightning bugs making halos of yellow in the dark. You are not afraid. You smile. So radiant. There is such promise in tomorrow. We will talk again. See you, girl.
Another of Val's sister friends was Dr. Pamela Reed. Dr. Pamela Reed is the founding executive director of the James Arthur Baldwin Afrologics Institute at Virginia State University. Unfortunately, she is not able to be here today, but she did want to extend this message. On behalf of the James Arthur Baldwin Afrologic Institute at Virginia State University, I wish to convey our heartfelt condolences to the Ward family and friends on the passing of our founding advisory board member, Val Gray Ward. She was our friend and our compatriot, and we love her unceasingly. I first became acquainted with Val in 2021 when I approached her about participating in our inaugural James Arthur Baldwin International Symposium. She immediately complied. This would prove to be the beginning of a beautiful relationship, both a friendship and mentorship. From day one, we were never strangers. Of course, as a stakeholder, I had known of Val, the icon of the Black Arts movement, for many years. However, it was not until I came to know her that I completely understood the fullness of her life and persona. Despite her status as a historical figure, she was eminently approachable. That was my first and lasting impression of this great woman, that along with her vitality and her zest for life and her quest for knowledge, we seldom had a conversation in which she didn't have a new book recommendation for me, and her ever encouraging, she always was. She consistently inquired about my progress on my planned Baldwin tome. Without fail, she always was conversant on current events, ranging from politics to sports, particularly regarding her beloved Chicago Bears and Bulls. And she always made me laugh. One can only hope to still be as close and as agile as was Val in her 8th and 9th decades. She lived a full life. I had become aware that she was still active during James Madison University's Furious Flower Summer Legacy Seminar, celebrating the groundwork of Baba Haki Manabuti. I immediately wanted to interview her to plumb the depths of her friendship with Jimmy Baldwin, as has been documented in a then current and recent issue of Esquire magazine. Upon my request, Dr. Joanne Gavin put her in touch with Val, and advising me to try to interview her via Zoom as quickly as possible due to her failing health. Mind you, that was almost 3 years ago. Needless to say, we forged ahead, and the result was my short film, Between Two Daughters of the American South, a conversation with the voice of a Black writer, Val Gray Ward. I hasten to add that the interview would not have blossomed into a film without the vision and encouragement of Val's friend, confidant, and biographer, Dr. Lascelles Fitzpatrick, who has become a trusted friend and advisor, with our love of Queen Val bonding us for life. In the final analysis, I wish that I could be there in the flesh, but a circumstance beyond my control has made it impossible. Please know that I am there in spirit, and I am confident that Val's spirit continues to guide me. In our last conversation, just days before her passing, I shared with her the news of the upcoming conference, the Centennial Second Triennial James Arthur Baldwin International Symposium. She was predictably excited, and she eagerly requested that I tell her everything. Our talk, however, was abbreviated because of the presence of her health condition and her attendance. But I was able to assure her that we were going to honor her life and legacy. Call me back, she implored, as upbeat as ever. Of course, I tried, but as fate would have it, we ran out of time, and she transitioned before we could connect. This notwithstanding, God willing, we will honor the life and legacy of Dr. Enola Valerie Gray Ward at the James Baldwin Conference 2024 to be held at Virginia State University, October the 24th to the 26th. It will culminate with To Val, with Love, a KUUMBA dinner theater tribute on Saturday, October the 26th. We certainly hope that you will be able to join us. Dr. Pamela Reed. And now, so our program will continue. Allow me to get back to my other notes here very quickly. As I do believe, we have music. We do, right? From Bobby Irvin III. Wonderful CD, garnered by Val Gray Ward, and of course his full band is here as well. Gentlemen, the stage is yours.
I'm going to speak on the piano, but I just have to say that in 1982, I actually studied acting at KUUMBA Theater on Wabash upstairs with Val.
That's where I was.
And despite my great talents as an actor, she cast me in the role of her musical director. Starting with KUUMBA Theater, and that was my first gig as a music director, even before I started becoming a musical director. Respected. I chose this song because of the title, and I got to work with Wayne Shorter in the studio, and he wrote this song that Miles Davis recorded, and it's entitled Footprints. And a lot of times we would play the song as young musicians in 4/4, sort of like a funk groove thing. And he said, you know, I don't like that because the song is about a giant. And he said, and the giant walks like this. Boom, 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 which is the bass line of the song. So to a giant, Belgrade Ward.
Black Arts Movement. Ronnie Crawford wrote the book, The Wall of Respect, Public Art and Black Liberation in 1960 Chicago, and she included The Quilt and Val Gray Ward. Please welcome Dr. Ronnie Crawford, author and professor of visual and critical studies and liberal arts, the School of the Art Institute of Chicago.
Good afternoon. I'm really so happy to be here. And really, I think what matters is the Black Arts Movement school modality in this moment, because I'm really here to say something about that. Ms. Val Gray Ward, who many of us, starting in summer of 2021, during her time at the Black Arts Movement school modality, came to know as Professor Val, taught me and so many of us a tremendous amount over a couple of years. But what stands out and what I want to focus on this afternoon is what I learned from her about just doing the work, creating, producing through it all, and despite everything. Her vitality and her life force, as many of you well know, was unmatched, absolutely. And because her voice was so filled with life and joy and excitement and charisma and enthusiasm about the things she was working on, I never really fully comprehended that she was ailing, even a few weeks before she passed away. But the Band School Project has really been about passing on those sorts of things, that the stalwarts of the Black Arts Movement, those institution makers, those artists, like Professor Val Gray Ward, like Professor Hakeem Madabuti, like Professor Carol Adams and others taught us. What I mean is that what we learned from Professor Val Gray Ward at the Black Arts Movement school modality was first and foremost doing the work, not facts and dates and the names of things. We learned that the work we do is a form of liberation. It is liberating. It frees us from some of the social turmoil which can be coaxed into that work. And of course, it taught us that even more, it frees us for moments at least from that social ennui, from illness and from aging. Professor Ward was creating as long as she could to the very end and excitedly. When her infamous history quilt, I didn't know it was going to be here today, showed in the Citing Black Geographies exhibit last year, she decided to include a voiceover piece along with it. She basically made it a multi-formal installation artwork. I was shocked by the daringness of this and the ambition of this, and it meant that she and Laseli and Babatou had extra recording and transcribing and work to do. They were an amazing production team, so they got it done. And I have to say, it was magical. It was magical to see what she could command, as other people have said, what she could command, create, and get done from her bed. From there, Professor Val was conceptualizing new projects and showing the strength of her creative force, always and all the time. Age and bedriddenness did not stop her from doing the work. A KUUMBA principle. What I want to share is that those of us who were part of the Black Arts Movement School Modality Project not only witnessed this, we directly inherited this invaluable kernel of knowledge from Professor Val Gray Ward. Make the work, do the work, create, produce, despite anything, including those social or physical crises that might stop you.
Recognizing the power of the extended family and all the women that Val Gray Ward did touch in her lifetime, and the men as well. Please welcome Laseli Fitzpatrick, Professor, African Spirituality at Wells.
Val never was, but forever will be. To a love, a life, a voice, a bond that is beyond description and definition. One that knows no bounds, no lines, no demarcations. No age, no distance, no time, no space. One that is intuitively deep and infinitely wide. True, and stands up for truth. When Juliana Richardson said to Val and me that nothing is ever going to kill Val, knowing what we knew, Val and I laughed and cried uncontrollably. Standing here today is testament to Val's vitality, immortality, and legacy, her omnipresence, and our inseparability in precious memories.
A poem for Val Greenwood, Reach the Reacher, for Val Greenwood, Quinola Valeria, by Leslie Fitzpatrick.
She is an altar, a gathering of offerings and sacred sacrifice, the sweet sweat of our harvest, a fruit basket. She quills us into the rhapsody of her breathing, into the syncopated, patterned pieces and patches of her textured memories. Hues of Langston. Jimmy's mother, her mother, my mother, our father. Gwendolyn, Mary, Sonia, Amina, Tony, and Deisha. Margaret Walker, Margaret Burroughs, Mukai, Kenneth, Rhonda, Akintola, Cherie, Cheryl, Terry, Nora, Inanke, Yumika, Soyini, Kenya, Fanny, Doris, Marvel, Harold, Tyrone, Kenny, Marilyn, Paulette, Barbara, Hoyt, Usini, Haki, Fahamisha, Penu, Mexico, Mary, Marie, Julie, Ron, Fanny, and Nikki, Norma, Alice, Joanne, Chini, Wintergreen Sisters, Barry Francis, Babatu, Mound Bayous, Sunshine, Syracuse, Harlem, Chicago, Ohio. She is KUUMBA, Black Theater. Festa flowing through the veins of Black folk, a prayer, a spark. Black art is Black life. Fish call the mother, sister, Ushun Yemonja. We ascend upon her tongue like an ancient melody memory, an island, a continent, a spark. My soul is a witness. Portal, prophet, sister, daughter, creator, creation. We have loved each other deeply, always, always interwoven. We never knew yet, we have always known that we were one God, God, God.
When the day comes, we will do Reach the Reacher. It will be a celebration, just like we did for Mukai. And I'll be right there with you because we will be together forever, right? Together forever. Val, I love you always, always. Your soul is my witness. Somebody say amen.
Amen. And we were so good that she has started a KUUMBA Theater chapter at Wellesley and is teaching a course based on Val Greenwood. From the footlights of KUUMBA Theater to the high echelons of academia, please welcome Dr. Cheryl Green, President, Governor State University.
actors, writers, producers, directors, and community leaders gathered here to celebrate the life and the legacy of Val Gray Ward. I am Dr. Cheryl Green, the daughter of Sarah Dean Ward and Walter David Green, and beloved niece of Val Gray Ward. I am also the first African American and sixth president of Governors State University. I believe there is a direct correlation to my presidency and the work of Aunt Val and the KUUMBA Theater, because you see, I am a KUUMBA baby. Let me take you back in time to 1968. It was a tragic year in American history. MLK was killed that year. Chaos and turmoil ensued in our country after his death. But like a phoenix rising from the ashes, something else emerged on the American landscape that year that gave us a new sense of hope and a promise of a new reality for Black life. KUUMBA Theater was founded in 1968. That is about the time I grew up as a little Black girl attending elementary school on the south side of Chicago. 1969 and 1974 is also the peak period of Black exploitation films in Hollywood. Why is this important? Because we look to the media as a source of information, identity, and political expression. The negative images portrayed by Hollywood about Black women, Black men, Black life, and Black culture in general permeated our consciousness and influenced our self-images, relationships, and identity. But thank God there was an emerging community theater that told us a different story about our roots, our past, our power, and our purpose. It is that teaching from the producer, director, and founders of KUUMBA that greatly influenced my psychological well-being and gave me a sense of power and presence in a media industry and a world that was clearly biased towards everything white. So this little Black girl growing up during the late 60s, 70s, and 80s was introduced to the idea that Black lives matter and Black is beautiful before it was fashionable. By literary giants like Gwendolyn Brooks, Sonia Sanchez, Nikki Giovanni, Haki Matabuti, James Baldwin, Langston Hughes, and so on. I was never taught Black history in the Chicago public schools, but I had KUUMBA Theater to teach me about my incredibly rich history, my power, and my purpose. The plays, films, television productions, poetry, and dance performances laid a foundation for me that remains intact today. KUUMBA Theater made an indelible impact on the world and on me, and I am forever grateful for the love of my Aunt Val, her contributions to Black culture, and her global impact on Black arts. And so I will close my remarks with the same point I made in my opening. I am a KUUMBA baby. So I will close with a poem by Langston Hughes. The night is beautiful, so the faces of my people. The stars are beautiful, so the eyes of my people. Beautiful beautiful also is the sun. Beautiful also are the souls of my people. Thank you.
Dr. Cheryl Williams, KUUMBA, baby. Another of Chicago's leading power couples were touched by Val Gray Ward early in their careers. Please join me in welcoming Laymoon Rami, KUUMBA director, author, film director, you name it, he does everything in media. And Masakwa Myers, his beloved wife, actress, producer, culture builder.
Are we celebrating? Are we celebrating?
Yes, indeed. First of all, let me say all praises to our ancestors, and especially our newest ancestor, Queen Val Gray Ward. All praises due. And what I want to do is say Habaragani, which most of us know means what's the news. And what the news is today is Queen Val Gray Ward. Habaragani! 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 Val Gray Ward! Habaragani! Val Gray Ward! That's what I'm talking about. I am going to relax this a little bit, tell a personal story. My mother and Val Gray Ward were spiritual sisters. Rhonda and I talked about that just today. My mother actually investigated and hunted down Queen Val Gray Ward. What do I mean by that? Of course, I don't mean literally. What I mean is that my mother heard Val Gray Ward on television. And she said, I have to meet this woman. She is amazing. What she's speaking about is us. And so my mother called Operation Breadbasket. And said, I need a phone number. That was a different day, wasn't it? Right. I need to speak to Val Gray Ward. I need to know her. She needs to know me. So that's exactly what happened. They got to Val Gray Ward, they gave her my mother's number, and they connected and never separated. If they didn't speak for a couple of years, it was like they spoke the night before. I was only about 14 years of age, maybe not quite 14. So she became my mother number 2. I don't think people understood that my relationship with Val Gray Ward began as I began my teenage years. So my first time actually seeing her was way before KUUMBA. It was in 66, 67. And we went, my mother brought me to a performance of Val Gray Ward at A.J. Williams Bookstore. He had a little space in the back, and people came and recited poetry and etc. And I saw Queen Val Gray Ward perform Between the World and Me by Richard Wright, and it blew me away. It touched my soul at 14 years of age. And I said, I want to touch people like this. I want to teach like this. This is what I want to do. So for me, Val Gray Ward, like for so many of us, was my pride and joy. Taught me that in public, you don't change. You are who you are, and you respect who you are, and you teach people the truth about who you are. And that's what I want to share with you today. I also want to say that in closing, because I'm going to respect the request for 2 minutes. And I'm going to say that we are here because Val Gray Ward was great, because she is great, and we are celebrating her greatness. So rest in peace and greatness, Queen Val Gray Ward, and my love and positivity to the family, extended family, and of course the community. Peace.
Hello, everyone. So, I have to now. So, man, I used to always referred to Francis as Daddy Francis. When I met him, I didn't quite understand what that meant. But I have a minister behind me, and so I'm feeling a little guilty about the comments I'm about to make. But anyway, okay, so my meeting, or her meeting started at 8 o'clock. And I was there, I attended. Now, I had said over the years that I attended to see Val, but I was truly trying to date Massaquoi. So I have to admit that. But it's true. So I met her at AJ. For those of you that are here that knew Val, you must remember when she performed Between the World and Me. You must remember when she performed For My People. You must remember when she performed What Shall I Tell My Children Who Are Black and the Creation by James Weldon Johnson. If you did not see those performances, then you missed the amount of time that you should have spent coming to Chicago early and being exposed to black people. Sorry, it just kind of happens like that. But the passion, the pain, the anger that was demonstrated in her performances and the dry bones mixing in that monologue still move me to this day. Val indeed was the voice of the black poetry. I'd be willing to stand here and say that if it was not for Val, a number of poems would never have been sold, a number of poets would never have been known, a number of us would never have been touched the way that we were touched by her work. Val brought an energy that we had not experienced to that time. So, how many people, are there any people in here that are under 18? Anybody? No. All right. For those people that are here, that are the two of you, I became the director of KUUMBA when I was 17. Whoa. Val recognized the fact that I had the energy and talent to help to move her dream forward. So every time I mentor a young person, I realize that all I have to do is look back at how I was as a child and realize that they have a lot to give. They might not give it like us, but they will give it in a way that we need for the time. Val Gray Ward. So when she went down to Carbondale, she asked me to come in and take over as the director of KUUMBA. And the first production that I directed for her was called, and why did I just go blank? That's why you write things down. It was called Unity and Destruction. Val and Oscar Brown Jr., who was another dear friend and mentor, developed an art form that I don't think that most people have recognized. The ritual, as it was defined by Val, and the DOME, the Dramatic Organization of Musical Expression, which was defined by Oscar, was the creation of a system that allowed us to take poetry, music, build characters without a script and tell a story. Yeah. She set the foundation for that. She also embedded in my head that for something to be black art, it had to be by, for, and about black people. I don't know if that is clear. So I'm going to move on because I don't want to make this entirely too long, but I do want to make a point. The commitment of KUUMBA, the conscious commitment of Val and KUUMBA to contribute the money that KUUMBA made to other black organizations to ensure that they continue. So, the money that KUUMBA made was contributed to the Southside Community Arts Center, the Institute of the Black World, the DuSable Museum. Those were all recipients of money that Val made. So how many of you are giving? How many of you are contributing? How many of you are making sure that the place like KUUMBA that was created by Val still exists? And there are a lot of institutions that are available for you to give. So the way that you give on Sunday, the way that you tithe to the church, you better tithe to culture and make sure that all of our systems are working together. two things about Val you don't know. So, I mentioned I directed the show for her. We went out to Nebraska to perform. So on the way back, we did the show, and on the way back at the airport, we go to the airport, and one of the, I have to say it this way, one of the gay dancers in the show came into the airport and his sandal was broken. So the guy at the desk says, well, for you to get on my plane, you have to look, act, and smell normal. True story. Val said, well, if he can't get on the plane, nobody can get on the plane. Val was up fighting for the rights. She took the company and said, if the band don't fly, we don't fly. And we all flew. We all flew out. The other thing that I want to mention is the Barbara Collins story. How many of you had the opportunity to see that? It was with Cicely Tyson. It was a story of Barbara Collins. I had the great opportunity to be the casting director for that film. And one of the people that I cast in the film was Val Greenwood, to play one of the mothers. When we got on location and on set and getting ready to perform, it was with Cicely Tyson and Morgan Freeman. They were all in the film. The character that Val was supposed to play was a mother of a crazy little black boy. And he was talking back to his mother and all kinds of things. Val said, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I would not have my kids something like that. We shouldn't have black kids something like that. I am not doing this part. And she didn't. She walked out. Marsha Warfield ended up doing the part. She started. So, there's a movie called Medium Cool that came out in the 60s. First movie that I had an opportunity to see some local actors. So, if you get a chance, it's still available. You can look at it on YouTube or something online. And there's a scene in the movie starring Val Greenwood, Jeff Donaldson, Mulholland, Richard Abrams, and Walter Bradford. Just check out the scene. The rest of the movie is horrible, but that particular scene, I'm going to close with this. Greatness should not be determined by name recognition, but by contributions made and lives touched. And when you take that into consideration, that should be famous because she has given and she continues to give, as the people that walk down the path of KUUMBA will continue to spread this message of love, power, and upliftment. Thank you.
Thank you. So I guess you can feel the spirit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We understand how important young people are to them, even now. Paulette Jones at the University of Illinois was one of her students. Let's hear what Paulette Jones has to say today.
Honor to, homage to, an illustrious life for Queen, Mother, Professor, Sister, Artist, Artivist, Voice of the Black Arts Movement, Val Gray Ward. Past the pages, past the writing, past the words, into the sound, into the meaning, into the interior, Val's voice takes you there, wraps you up inside your rapture, captures your cocoon. Cocoons your captures, ebbs, flows, laps, waves, stirs, twirls, spoons, purees, Val's voice, back to your beginning, ahead of your now, afar into your Afro future. Shh. quietly, eternally, past the pages, past the writing, past the words. Listen, Val's voice.
And Val is proud. We have great musical voices that Valerie Ward was always able to lift up. And one young lady, Laura Walls, will now join our music ensemble with a special rendition. I don't have what you're singing, but whatever it is, you know it's going to be great.
Hello? How are you? How are you? Oh, my heart is full right now. Val was not only a mentor, but she was a mother to me. She was a friend. She took me under her wings, I believe it was in 1984. And I met her through Mr. Robert Irving III. Robert told me, you know, I want you to go down to the KUUMBA Theater. I said, the who? He said, I want you to go down to the KUUMBA Theater, and I want you to audition with Miss Valerie Ward. She's looking for a lady dame, somebody to play Billie Holiday in a show called In the House of the Blues. And I'm telling you that, oh my God. With that show, Val took us all over the world. We were in Japan, Osaka, Kyoto, Tokyo. We went to the Montreal International Jazz Fest. It was her beautiful daughter, Rhonda. It was Catherine Davis, Zora Young, Eddie Richardson, Titus. Oh, Lord, Kansas Fields on drums. You know, she poured so much into my soul. So much into my soul. I can't explain it all, but it's like this right here. This was a part of the original costume that I wore. Now this wasn't, because the other dress, I've had it since 1984, but you know, sister kinda, you know. But it's all good. I still got all my good curves, and I still look good.
All right. Yes, you do.
And you know, Miss Valley would tell me, embrace all of that. All of it, yes. So I'm going to take you down that road with me. That, oh, God. Them that's got shall be. Them that's not shall lose. So the Bible says, and it still is news. Your mama may and your papa may have weak ones fade. Empty pockets never make the grade. Your mama had and your papa may have. Got this child that's got his own, that's got his own. You've got some friends hanging around, knocking outside your door. Oh, but with your spending years, seems like your money's gone. They won't come around again anymore. Listen, rich relations, crust of bread and such. You can help yourself, but don't take too much. Oh, your mama may have. Seems like Papa has. God bless the child that's got his own. It's got his own. Play it one time for me, Bobby, everything. Yes! Come on, put your hands together. Come on. Come on now. Celebration. Yes! Oh yeah. Wait a minute. Bring it on just a minute. Come on, Frank. Play for me, darling. Yes. Y'all just say, Miss Valley, Miss Valley, Miss Valley, Miss Valley. We love you, 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 Miss Valley. Love you, Val. Let's get on it.
Thank you so much, Laura Walls. Just a delight. I've known her for many, many, many years. Our next speaker, she may not even remember this, but I went skipping through Washington Park with this young lady. Grown folks, skipping through the park with a childlike spirit. And you know who I'm talking about.
Logan Center.
Blakely, who got her moorings at KUUMBA Theater, saw how Val Gray Ward did it, said, I'm going to speak to the spirit of the children. And now she's all really grown up and has started managing things a little bit differently with Brooks' permissions. So give me the permission to introduce you to Nora Blakely!
First thing I'm going to have to do is apologize to Deb and the rest of the committee because Paymonso inspired me to say something that's at 15 extra seconds. And that is that as one of the many, many children of KUUMBA who then went on to found or participate in the development of new organizations from the things that they learned from KUUMBA, that they learned from Val. I just want to say this. Here's how you celebrate Val Gray Ward. If you do not mourn the organizations that we've lost, but you contribute to the ones that are in existence now. And if you are serious with that applause, then you will write a check. It's a little piece of paper with numbers and letters on it, or whip out your phone and get online and donate to a Black cultural organization before you walk out of this building. Okay, so what I meant to say was, Val was my second mother. And my first mother's best friend. My first mother is the person, Gwendolyn Brooks Blakely, who created a world where I could rejoice in the wonderland of words and encouraged a curiosity in and questioning of everything. As a young adult, when Val, my second mother, kidnapped me into KUUMBA Theater, she challenged me to rethink what I thought I could do, who I could be, and made me question everything. But this is not about me. It's about them and the intersection of Gwendolyn Brooks and Val Gray Ward. Here are 3 crossings. In 1967, the wall became a reality on 47th and Langley. Gwendolyn Brooks, yes, it was. Gwendolyn Brooks was there and did what she did best. She observed and recorded. Val Gray Ward was there and did what she did best. She scintillated. Here is how my mother described Val in her poem, The Wall. Val, a little black stampede in African images of grass and flower swirl, fist out, black power, tightens pretty eyes, leans back on mother country, and is tracked, treatise, through her perfect and tight teeth. Second crossing. In 2017, we asked a small group of my mother's peers, mentees, family, and friends to share memories of Mama for her centennial. Here is a part of what Val said in her sharing. Val, you must write your memoirs, Gwen would say to me. Gwendolyn, instead, I'm going to quilt my memoir. What do you know about quilting, she asked. Nothing, I replied. 40 years later, I am finishing the quilt. Now, I have to write a historical book, i.e. memoir, explaining it. It is dedicated to you, Gwen. You win. One more crossing. In recent years, Val had one piece by my mother, which she liked to present more than any other. And that made me very happy because I've been trying to shift people off from We Real Cool and on to this poem for years. And it's a poem that is the message of one incredible woman and the soul and mission of another. Paul Robeson. That time we all heard it, cool and clear, cutting across the hot grip of the day. The major voice, the adult voice, foregoing rolling river, foregoing tearful tale of bale and barge and other symptoms of an old despond. Warning in music words, devout and large, that we are each other's harvest. We are each other's business. We are each other's magnitude and bond. Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Val. Your legacy is your gift to us.
Thank you. Our next speaker is someone whom I have always known to be full of love, full of light, and exuding with extraordinary talent. Renato Jahi sets the standard as one who taught Jennifer Hudson everything she knows about stage presence. Please welcome Renato Jahi, director, artist, and poet.
Himself.
Good morning, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I've written a tribute poem to Val. It's prose, but it's a lot of things, but it's called Mama Val. One of the great gifts of African tradition is that we were taught to respect our elders. I remember being a teenager, very much interested in the theater, and by chance was introduced to Oscar Brown Jr. by my father, who was a tenor saxophone player. Oscar read a script that I read in high school called Searching, a Tragedy of Abused Black Minds, and told me that I had literary talent and suggested that I go to Ebony Talent to see Okoro Harold Johnson. And today is Okoro's and Miles Davis's birthday. Okoro looked at me and said, Oscar Brown Jr. sent you here? Well, come on in. Well, I began to take acting classes with him and got cast in El Haj Malik, also featuring Pavone Raymond. From there, I met Evelyn Joan Brown. And before I knew it, I began to act in showcase performances with them. But my theater journey did not stop there. I went to see this magical James Baldwin play at KUUMBA called The Hayman Corner, featuring Val Gray Ward as Sister Margaret and Candace Hunter as Sister Boxer. That play was filled with talented actors, and I wanted to join KUUMBA, but Okoro and Abana kept encouraging me to stay with them. It was a tug of war. Rossini Eugene Purvis had written a play called The Murder of Steve Biko, of which Okoro wanted me to play the lead. So that was an offer I couldn't refuse. Mama Val would encourage me to consider joining her company, and every time I thought about it, Abana would find something for me to do at her theater. So I was torn between these two powerhouse divas of my theater, and it was most uncomfortable. The situations occurred when I happened to be in a room with both of them. Alana being a strong-willed Taurus, and Val being a strong-willed Leo. In spite of it all, I was very blessed to be educated theatrically by these two powerful women, my two mamas. In the years after my departure from ETA Creative Arts Foundation, Val called me and told me that you are my son now. I wound up having 3 mamas. Olivia, my biological one, who passed away at age 52, Abana, and then Val. Olivia taught me the importance of having discipline. Abana and Val both taught me the importance of doing theater that elevates the consciousness of our people. Even though we must work at our craft and earn a living, we must not jump at every opportunity to degrade ourselves by acting, writing, directing, and producing work that is an embarrassment to our communities, as well as our world view for the sake of money. Colleges, in many ways, do not always teach black students the value of our theater by not offering plays written by black playwrights or validating the brilliance of the many actors who performed in them. Yet we all know who Laurence Olivier is. Like in motion pictures, it is a predominantly white universe. Without being unrealistic, we're all aware that in some families, situations are more difficult to handle than others. In real life, we struggle sometimes, but in most cases, people rise up. It's okay to show that struggle on stages, in film, on television, because it is a part of life experience. But there is a way to tell those stories without ending in vile, tragic episodes of self-destruction and a lack of integrity. Because without the will to improve ourselves, there is no tomorrow. Thank you.
Go ahead,
Now, it is said that you should never leave home without your publicist or your attorney.
Damn. It's like that.
One to keep you out of jail, the other to spin the story. Well, certainly Val Gray Ward never went far without Juliana Richardson being close at her side. She is the founder president of History Makers, a KUUMBA alum, and the KUUMBA Esquire. Please welcome Juliana Richardson.
You know, you should mourn your mentor before you are here in front of a group of people to honor them. I've had a hard day today. Val Gray Ward was my mentor, my friend, and to Ken and Rhonda and Akintola and Babatu and Mukai, who's up above, with Kumi and Cheryl, who did a fabulous job in Yongay, and Danny Francis. The last time I was on the stage to honor Val, she was right here. I can see her in her glory, standing tall. She took the stage. She had come back to the Chicago that was her home. Today we honor her spirit and her legacy. Actress, theater founder, cultural activist, master storyteller, and master weaver. From Mumbai to Chicago, she took our culture to the world. There is no History Makers organization without Val Gray Ward. She would take great pride in that, and you know, sometimes she would say, you know, so-and-so asked me if I knew the History Makers and Juliana Richardson, and we both would get a big kick out of that. She is the reason that I came to Chicago in the first place. The law firm of Jenner & Block had offered me a position, me a newly minute lawyer out of Harvard Law School. I really had wanted a career on the stage. So I told them I would take their offer if I could represent a black theater. And they introduced me to Val Gray Ward. It was a match made in heaven. It was 1980. and she was launching Amen Corner at the Fine Arts Building. I ran down to the theater, contracts in hand. She was in the middle of a production meeting, and she cussed me and Francis. But I was happy that day. I had found myself. I joined the board and met Chester and Aurelia and Doyle Wicks and Shirley and Walter Massey and Sandra Rand and Letton Kennedy, who's here, and Bobby Irving and Everett Green. And that's why I say that she opened the doors of Black Chicago to me. She introduced me to myself. And I became an adopted member of the Ward and KUUMBA families. That's why I say there's no history makers without Val Gray Ward. She is all over this organization. Larry Crow, who became our primary interviewer, has done 2,000 interviews for us. Baba Tu was our first stage manager, and then he recruited Carol Wolfick, and we produced almost 36 evening lit programs for PBS. Everett Green was our vocalist, and the late Sue Conway started us out. For Val, there was no culture without community. And for Val, there was no history without culture. She gifted us that. And each and every conversation that I would have with her was a ready exchange of ideas with so many lessons. And me, the student, would debate, my mentor, and the teacher was so caring in her approach with her mentee. Oh, how I will miss her. In recent years, we would have marathon calls they would end with me saying, I love you, Val. And she would respond, I love you more. I then would respond, I love you the most. One day I called her and she said that she did not think she would make it. And I said, oh, no, you can't go anyplace today, not right now, because I'm not in Chicago. We both laughed. And that is why the Sally Fitzpatrick, I'm so glad you entered into her life. Thanks to Joanna, Cabot, and Curious Flower. I want to thank you for the incredible job, Lucella, you did in caring for her and honoring her and dignifying her and laughing and caring with her. You brought her flowers while she was still among us. I interviewed Val for our archives, for the history makers. We end the interviews with asking people what they want their legacy to be. She said, is my lipstick okay? She said, if I could not be art, I would be nothing. And it's serious with me. When I get on the stage, I give it my all. And that is all that anyone can do. I want people to say that Val gave it her all. Val, you gave us the thing that we call life. You gave us all, and we are all the better for it. Thank you, sister, mentor, and friend. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Juliana Richardson. Cynthia A. Walls hails from Norm Blakely's camp with Brooks' permissions, and in her own right, she's an extraordinary theater director. Please welcome Cynthia Walls.
In a small town, Lamona, Iowa, I learned about Val Gray Ward. My theater professor came up to me and said, I want you to meet Val Gray Ward. So as I prepared to come home for the summer, she came and reminded me, go to KUUMBA and meet Val Gray Ward. So I did. I think my professor thought I needed to get in touch with my roots. And with my roots I did when I came to KUUMBA. After my audition, Val welcomed me into her embracing arms with a great smile. We all remember that smile. And from that day on, I was blessed to become a part of the KUUMBA family. KUUMBA taught me about my community, about my roots, about my culture. I was blessed to have that experience and blessed to realize the inheritance that I had. There have been many of us, many throughout this audience and on this stage, that have been welcomed through the doors of KUUMBA Theater. Val, like a magnet, attracted the giants, the pillars of our community. She united the poets, the visual artists, writers, directors, musicians, actors, dancers, photographers, educators, publishers, and Black business owners. She brought together the educated to teach the uneducated. Val was a woman that took to the stage, whether it was in the theater or the stage of life, and we all know that. She was also known for speaking her truth. She did not play games. She would dive in and speak the truth as she knew it. She would dive in and direct as she saw things should be directed. Val did not let struggles stop her, as we've heard over and over. She continued to share her gift with speech and acting with the world. She acted from a wheelchair, did college lectures while out bedridden. Val lived her life on earth until she went to join the ancestors. Let us be inspired by Val's love for community and the arts, using creativity to educate, entertain, and enlighten. We will always remember Val, as many people have said over. We will continue to feel her vibrant love. Why? Because she's our Val.
Receiving accolades and recognition from your peers is, of course, one of the highest honors that we can receive in life. Today, we have Sahini Walton with the Institute of Positive Education with a special proclamation and message for Val Gray Ward.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'd like to say first that it looks like I was among several hundred people who considered Val to be a close friend. Well, she considered me to be a very close and intimate friend. So I'm fortunate in that sense. My name made the quilt. But Val's, yes, Val's spirit was wide enough and her love was broad enough and deep enough to love all of the people that she felt close to. This afternoon, I'm representing the brothers and sisters of the Institute of Positive Education, EPE, Betty Shabazz International Charter School, and Third World Press and Third World Press Foundation. We love and honor Val because she was our sister in the struggle. She shared our same values for institution building and cultural nationalism. It's not an easy accomplishment to build a viable organization, but Val, with Frances by her side, did just that. And I'd like to say at this time that Frances was really more than the wind beneath Val's wings. I'd like for us to give a standing ovation to Frances. KUUMBA Theater helped to make us whole by bringing our voice to life. The pain, the sorrow, the laughter, and the joy. Sister Val presented us with the truth in many dimensions. KUUMBA helped us to examine our lives. Through KUUMBA, we cried, we laughed, we were riled and ruffled. We are grateful to Val and Frances and to the Ward and Gray family for giving us this jewel. James Baldwin was a friend and mentor to Val. KUUMBA Theater famously presented his play, The Amen Corner. The following quote is from James Baldwin. It seems to me that one ought to rejoice in the fact of death, ought to decide, indeed, to earn one's death by confronting with passion the conundrum of life. Val certainly earned her rest by living her life with full passion. Val cherished life, and she was not quiet about it. Queen Ola Val Gray Ward was a queen indeed. She looked like a queen, she acted like a queen, and her presence demanded the respect due a queen. And she was also, as we know, a fashionista. So she would be thrilled today to see all of you who come to celebrate her in your queenly and kingly attire. So give yourselves a hand. So to Babatu, Akintola, Kenneth, and Rhonda and family, please know that on this 25th day of May, 2024, we, the brothers and sisters of VPay, Betty Shabazz International Charter School, and Third World Press are here to embrace you and lift you up in your time of sorrow. We will miss her presence, but we have her work to cherish. We extend our love and support to you. Humbly submitted on behalf of the brothers and sisters, Soyini Walton, co-founder of VPay and Betty Shabazz, Bisha Matabuti, board chair of Betty Shabazz, and Hakeem Matabuti, founder and publisher of Third World Press. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Let's give another round of applause to all of our cultural titans in celebration of Val Gray Ward. The family and offer closing remarks. I do want to share that I had the distinct honor and privilege of being able to join Baba II in the final days of KUUMBA at Malcolm X College, where we were able to bring Dick Gregory in. Wow. And we had a town hall meeting where we explored Black patriotism. We revitalized the play, The Amen Corner, and closed things out with Echoes of Mercy and Whispers of Love, done by Elaine Ferguson. Yeah. So before we take our final movement, our epilogue today, please welcome timeless gifts, Lachi and Larry Hanks on piano, and Joe Colasso sings me.
Good afternoon. If I may for a moment before we begin, my name is Rosine Colasso. I'm daughter of Joan Colasso. This is my dad, Larry Hanks. This is Saji Nixon, who will be blessing you with a song in just a moment. This that you're about to see is a great example of having paid it forward. My mother, as I said, Joan Colasso, formerly Joan Walton, if you knew her then, came up under Miss Val Ward. And I didn't realize when I was a little girl, because they were our family, my aunts, my cousins, my grandmother, they were my family. And I didn't realize the impact that Val had on my mom until way later in 2010. My mother started a production in 2011, founding an organization called Timeless Gifts, where we instruct the youth in the performing arts. Does that sound familiar? Yes. Because Val Ward gave it to her, and now she is giving it to them. Yes. Okay? She had an opportunity to travel abroad with that fantastic troupe that was, what you call yourself, a KUUMBA baby? I believe my mom was a KUUMBA baby too. But Val was my grandma. So I didn't know. I didn't know till I was much older, and I want to share this voice. We want to share this voice with you in honor of Val Ward, because we are paying it forward. My mother says our children are successful because we care. And I know she probably didn't hear that from Val Ward, but she got it from Val Gray Ward. So this is for you, grandmother.
Cheesy jokes and butterflies. I believe in fairy tales and velvet skies. I believe in rosy cheeks and misty eyes. I believe in love. I believe that everybody finds the one. You're wishing on shooting stars and morning sun. I believe there's something that compares to none. I believe in love. Joy, peace, and equality. I believe in love. I believe in love. I believe in love. rejoice, dream. So here's to life, to dreamers and
And now for our epilogue as we close out this wonderful celebration. Celebrating the life of Val Gray Ward. We bring to the podium a woman that we all know as being not only a titan of culture, but a titan of social service. But my fondest memory of Dr. Carol Adams, 2, 1, she's a great poet. I sat in her office one day and she recited some wonderful, wonderful poetry. But the lasting memory is her at her 80th birthday celebration rocking a bikini top. Yes, she rocked it. As she rocks life, please welcome Dr. Carol Adams.
Val Gray Ward.
Val Gray Ward all day. Listen, Providence is Val Gray Ward because she was born on that bayou, that mound. She came with the DuSable River. She was named the queen from day one, so everybody knew what she was going to be. And she lived up to every single bit of it. It is an honor to be able to stand here and talk about her in this company, which is like a royal family all by itself. Yeah. This is a cultural community. This is a reunion. And having been a Chicago transplant, you wouldn't believe it because by now I could be the Chamber of Commerce. I love it so much. But it meant so much to me to meet everyone in this room. And to be able to be transformed by your wisdom and your greatness. And to see Val do her thing and to transmit it almost magically to so many bodies. So you don't have to worry about who's going to do the work. She made the people to do the work. She created the people to do the work. And she was in the best tradition of that Negro spiritual that said, don't let them catch you with your work undone. Because her work was now undone. Now, I've been messing around with this telephone because what I have to say is on it. And I'm just hoping that I am successful in getting this up because my printer didn't work. But I have a proclamation that's very important for us, and it's on here. So just pray with me. Okay, here it goes. Dear friends, as mayor and on behalf of the city of Chicago, I am honored to recognize and celebrate the incredible contributions of Val Gray Ward, a pioneering force in Black theater and the Black arts movement in Chicago. Val's visionary leadership as the founder, director, and producer of the KUUMBA Theater Company, the oldest Black professional theater company in Chicago, has left an indelible mark on the creative arts community. Val's dedication to the arts has been recognized with numerous accolades, including 21 Emmy Awards for her television show, Precious Memories, Strolling 47th Street on WTTW Chicago. Her Grammy nomination for the audiobook Rhapsody in Hughes, a work on Langston Hughes, further highlights her exceptional talent and commitment to the arts. As a civil rights activist, Val's voice and actions have made significant strides for social justice and equality. Val's close friendships and collaborations with literary and cultural icons, such as Gwendolyn Brooks, Nikki Giovanni, Margaret Burroughs of the DuSable Museum, and James Baldwin, highlight the breadth of her influence and the profound respect she garnered among her peers.
Val Gray Ward's life and work have left an everlasting impact on the Black arts community and Black culture worldwide. Her unwavering dedication and pioneering spirit continue to inspire future generations of artists and activists. It is with deep admiration and gratitude that we honor Val Gray Ward for her remarkable contributions to our communities in Chicago and in the world. Mayor Brandon Johnson, City of Chicago. Round out this program, welcome the family of Val Gray Ward to the stage, please.
Yes, we request that the immediate family join us here on stage. Has this been an exquisite celebration? May each of you here be inspired to live such robust lives as Val did teach us. Live bold, live strong, and laugh. Allow your caring to be larger, but not larger than your loving. We will hear from the patriarch of the family, Francis Ward. And we will close out with a KUUMBA ritual. And we invite each and every one of you to join us for a reception in the lobby immediately following.
She filled in. What's that? Oh no, since we was kids.
As Father Francis asked me if he can speak, yes you can.
Well.
So can we bring him to the center of the stage? All right.
Well, there are no words that I can find that can express the power and the glory and the honor of today. Many things have happened over the years, but nothing matches the power of today and the love and devotion that all of you have given to me and my beloved wife. All I can say is that her body may be gone, but the spirit will live on forever. And those of us who are still here, you know, all praise is due to them, and all honor to those of you who have come today to help in this wonderful celebration. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. May God bless you and keep you forever.
Thank you. We would like to end this with the KUUMBA's ending ritual, which is to say, there's but one thing that brings tears to our eyes. That is to hear every man, woman, and child stand up and say, I'm proud I'm Black. We are different. We have a purpose and direction. We point to the East because we know we're an African people, which is in the process of reclaiming ourselves. And we say, KUUMBA, KUUMBA, KUUMBA. Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
So please join us in the lobby for a wonderful reception.